Hello and welcome to another episode of the iPad Lettering Show. My name is Karen. I am from iPad Lettering, bringing you the best tips and tricks about anything iPad related. In this episode, I want to show you my brand new watercolor extension brush set. This is made exclusively for Procreate 5 and it includes 8 Procreate brushes and also a brand new watercolor template. This is not replacing the watercolor advanced set of brushes that I've made, but this is an add-on. That's why it's called an extension. Let's have a look what's included. So let's go back to the gallery and then let's have a look at the template first. So this is what the template looks like. This is 2560 by 2048 pixels. This is the template I'm using personally for all my Instagram posts. So you see here how it's got the guidelines. So if you want to do a lettering piece, you have got those guidelines there. Of course, if you don't want them, feel free to turn them off. And then you've got the 2 layers here where you want to write. You can create new layers, of course, as always. And then here up at the top, we've got the textures. This is a locked layer. You can change them, of course. All right, now let's have a look at the brushes as well. So let's open up our brush library and we have the watercolor extension brush set here. These are all the brushes. There is a number of lettering brushes, but there's also painting brushes included here. And then what's brand new, you also have 2 brushes to create a paper texture. So if you don't want to use this template, or if you find that the size of this template is not suitable for the work that you would like to create, there's also 2 brushes here which allow you to create your own watercolor background, which is super handy. All right, now let's start with the watercolor dry edge lettering brush and choose your favorite color. Purple is fine, and let's see what this looks like. I always recommend using the watercolor brushes with the watercolor template. You get a slightly nicer effect, but of course this is completely up to you. If you prefer having a blank canvas, then that's fine as well. So this is what it looks like. And you'll see here that it's got really nice, lovely texture, sort of a watercolor, even a more intense watercolor paper texture. And this comes out very nicely. It varies a bit in intensity as well. This is on purpose so that it doesn't look super even. Now what you'll see here is that the overlaps here, you can see the brush stroke coming through. What's nice about the watercolor set is all the brushes that we've got here, they don't just work with the brush tool, they actually also work with the smudging tool. And especially that watercolor bloom brush, this one here, this works very, very nicely for smudging. So if you wanted to even this out, you can use this and just create this really nice smooth transition. And this doesn't take very long and just gets rid of that little overlap that we have here. So this is a very easy way how you can fix this. All right, and then next one up is the smooth lettering brush. This is my favorite brush out of this whole set. This is so nice. Let me show you what this looks like. And you can see how this doesn't have as much texture as the dry edge lettering brush. It's a little bit smoother, but it's got really nice transitions between the darker and the lighter areas. And it's got that ever so slight paper texture background. So this looks very, very nice. Definitely try this with some different colors as well. This makes a bit of a difference if you choose a lighter color, ever so slightly lighter. This creates a bit of a more intense effect like this. And then you can also see the moon edges a little bit more here. Okay, now next up we have watercolor streaks. This is a fun brush to use because it creates a little bit of a streak effect. Let's create a new layer, then you can see what this looks like. And I should also mention that this brush works with the secondary color selector. So depending on which color you select as your secondary color choice, it will take that into consideration. So you can see how the purple and the pink blend really nicely, and it's got sort of this streaky effect which is super nice. And then you can change the secondary color, of course, to see what other combinations you can come up with. So this is a super fun brush to play with. Okay, and then we have got brush lettering. This brush is a little bit thicker. This sort of emulates an actual watercolor brush and creates a nice texture as well. And then has got a sort of a sharp ending that emulates the brush, bristle brush, and creates a very nice effect. So the next 4 brushes that we are going to look at, they are all painting brushes. They're very nice for creating nice backgrounds or also to color in your lettering pieces. So let's just paint a little bit. And it's very subtle, and the more pressure you put on the brush, the more color it'll put on the canvas. You can also put more than one layer, of course, and just build up the color as you paint. This brush also blends really nicely, so if you choose a different color, you'll see how this blends nicely with the previous color. And so it's very nice to use. Definitely make sure that you try this with different pressure. If you put more pressure, you can see it creates these nice little sparkles, which can be a nice effect as well. Or tapping is a good idea to put a lot of color on your canvas, and then you can paint and you can smudge this to create beautiful effect like this. All right, then next up, the ultimate watercolor brush. This brush is a little bit more intense, puts a little bit more paint on the paper straight away, and also what this does, it creates this nice sort of dried edge. As you keep painting, you'll see how you can expand it, and if you never lift the pencil off the page, it sort of keeps expanding that edge here, which is super nice. So it pretty much smoothes out what you've already painted, but then sort of carries on. So this is super nice. Again, this is pressure sensitive as well, so try it out with different pressure. And then again, you can also blend this with another color, which is very nice as well. Now, if you find that it doesn't blend as nicely as you would like, definitely use the smudge tool. You can use the smudge tool with this brush as well, and in order to do that, you hold down the smudge tool, and now you've got the same brush selected as we've had before, and then you can use this for smudging like this, and it just creates a really, really nice subtle blend. So this is super nice, and you can see the transition here is very, very nice and almost seamless. And then next up, we have the watercolor blooms brush. This is a bit similar to the first one, but it's creating a slightly different texture, and it also has those little burnt edges. This one builds up color more than the watercolor wash brush. So it's definitely nice to have in case you would like some more intense colors or just a slightly different shape. So you can see this fizzles out really nice and smoothly. So this is very nice. Let's try mixing it with a different color. And this blends very, very nicely as well. This is probably my favorite brush when you need a smudging brush. I find this one creates the smoothest result when used with smudging. Then next up, we have the canvas paintbrush, and this is a fun brush. I like using this a lot. I'm going to show you with black because this is really cool what you can do with this. So if you put a lot of pressure on the brush, it creates a lot of texture, but then if you slightly lift up your pencil, you can make this really nice gradient, and this really simulates that really nice blend you get when your brush runs out of ink or out of color. This is very, very nice. It's a bit more intense, but it blends nicely as well, and this just creates super, super nice effects as well. It's very nice to blend, creates a bit more texture there as well. Just slightly different from the other brushes, but super fun to use. And then the last 2 brushes are the paper texture brushes. So let me show you what these look like, and we'll turn off the textures. This is now a standard canvas, and let's turn this off as well. And then we can paint this. So what you want to do with this one is never lift your pencil off the page until you're finished painting. Now this paper looks a little bit dark, so what you can do now is either you change the color that you've selected, or you can decrease the opacity of this layer to create a bit more of a subtle effect with the nice paper background. And then now let's have a look what the other texture looks like. Let's choose a slightly lighter grey now for the canvas texture. So this was probably a bit too light. You can hardly see. Make it a bit darker. And there we go. Now you can see this. With canvas, it can also be nice if you don't just make it grey, but just maybe add a slight bit of orange or yellow. Let's see, maybe this type of color. So we'll clear this and paint again. And then this looks very, very nice for your paper background. All right, and there you have it. These are the brand new watercolor extension brushes. As always, make sure you leave a comment below this video. Let me know what you think about the brushes. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Press the bell button for notifications when I post a new video. And then I'll see you next time.